solo.
And hello! Welcome to Solo Playthroughs on this beautiful Monday evening, because we're doing a night stream for the first time in a minute. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. I guess the day of the last time I streamed Spirit Island, when I had a migraine, which got a little scary there, was also a 5 o'clock start. So this is the same 5 o'clock start. We will be getting back to Spirit Island in the afternoon. Unfortunately, it's going to be a couple of weeks from now. I could only stream twice this week, including right now, is what I realized when I looked at my schedule for the week. So I wanted to stream twice. I'm streaming today, I'm streaming Wednesday, and then I will be away for a week and a half, celebrating Mrs. Playthrough's birthday and seeing a bunch of friends and family. So very excited about the upcoming trip, but it will mean I will be away for a little bit. So we're streaming this today. On Wednesday, we'll be streaming Aeon Trespass Odyssey, and then we'll be back in the end of June, early July, with a bunch more stuff planned. I'm going to get as much on the channel as I can as we get into the end of July, when I'll be going away again, and then we'll have Gen Con and should be back to a normal schedule, hopefully sometime in August. We did... We had a couple of cool comments already. Sadja told me it's not worth the hassle, I should give up. Maybe not the worst advice he's ever given me. We have Madi Marhaba, sir. I don't think I can make it. It is getting late. It is indeed getting late in Germany. And I think I took your word and picked up the expansions. They are amazing. I have never seen any game where expansions add so much to the game. It feels like getting a new game. Yeah, absolutely. There was something very unique about how how Great of the Games chose to release Spirit Island and introduce the world to the rest of the island that was there. I think one of the things that I've said this before, and I'm not sure, not so much with Horizons, but at least with Branch and Claw, and then with Jagged Earth, it was almost like you weren't adding new mechanics as much as you were like learning about the rest of the island that was already there, but you were just like getting a chance to discover it. And I loved that about it. And that's just how it felt to me for some reason. And I don't know. I mean, look, the sales clearly, if we want to play results dependent, thinking, they did the right thing. I do wonder what would have happened had they just released the whole thing right off the jump, because I know for me personally, I liked Spirit Island, but I don't think it would have been a forever game for me until I added Branch and Claw. And then Jagged Earth, I was skeptical about, and I absolutely love it. I'm probably equally skeptical about Nature Incarnate, if not more. We will see if Nature Incarnate still is a home run for me, or if it does indeed start to feel like the game might be getting more bloated than is good for it. That is something that happens to me with games when they have more and more expansions. It's one of the reasons that I love Mage Knight. Mage Knight is done. This is what you get. Now, Mage Knight, I think you could say that the first expansion, Lost Legion, did add a ton to the game in a way that's akin to what Branch and Claw did for Spirit Island. But even then, though, I don't think it's on the same level of what the expansion actually brings to the game and how much it enriches and deepens the experience of playing the game. So Boris Kazamara, hello, says, ooh boy. So yes, I'm going back for more punishment. I'm on a bit of a losing streak here at Spirit Island. I've done this challenge twice, and I actually love this matchup, and I can't stop thinking about it. So I promise this will be my third try on camera. If I lose, I will just do it off camera until I win, because eventually I will win this. So I've got a little unlucky with Grinning Trickster, and let's see what happens. Has not always worked out well for me, and my strategies haven't been great, but there is definitely a win here that I would like to have. The last time I streamed Spirit Island, remember, that was a patron challenge from David Coleman. That was a really awesome challenge. And I'm kind of taking that as a moral win, because the win was definitely there. And had I not been suffering from the very very detrimental effects of a migraine. I probably would have pulled that off. If you look at the last turn there, I should have taken Spill Bitterness as a major power. That would have guaranteed me a win as long as the Blighted Island card did not add any cities, in which I did check off camera, and it would not have. Instead, I thought there was another path to win that was less risky, and that was just a miscalculation on my part. And honestly, with my with the headache and stuff like that, I had to call it a night. It was a little rough. Tony says, "Good luck, third time's a charm." Maybe. Let's see what happens. If I can beat that joke to a pulp. So here we go. We got Grinning, Trickster, and we have Thunderspeaker, and we have Scotland level 6. So we're going to need to get some island boards is what we are going to need to do. So let me roll a D6. Trickster is on board D, which I just love D. It's really the thing that makes me so confident every time it comes up. We want to be on board D again. That's not going to work, so we are on board C. D, for those of you who do not know, D is indeed one of the swingier experiences you will have a Spirit Island, because it is the only board that puts 2 of the same land type on the coast. So if your Invader deck comes up wetlands heavy, good freaking luck, especially against our friends, the Scots. Those Scots and their love for the wetlands on the coast. All right, and I don't know why that was definitely not Scottish, whatever awful accent I just did there. But you get the point. I'm going to roll a D20 to figure out our Blighted Island card. I still have Tipping Point in there. Again, I'm going to keep saying I'm going to take it out and then not until I actually get Nature Incarnate in the future. But, it's a thing. So I rolled number 9, so 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, and now we have number 9. That is going to come into play with 4 Blight on it, because that's what the card says. And then we have the Eric Royce loves you passionately, Blight. Maybe not passionately, but definitely loves you on some level of love. So, love's complicated, guys. It is what it is. All right, so we have board A. Trickster is going to, I'm sorry, board D. It's like A, but, a totally different letter. We're going to have 2 presents on the board. One is in the highest numbered land with dahan. That is going to be board 7, land 7, and one is going to be in land number 4. We're going to get our starting Blight on board D in land 5. We're going to get our 6th dahan. We'll have 2 wetlands dahan in land 1. I'll put the dahan on board C as well, so the wetlands dahan will be on land 5, and let me put the starting Blight on there as well. We're going to have our 2 sands dahan in land 7 on board D. We have our sands dahan on land 6 on board C. We're going to have our mountain dahan on land 5 on board D. We'll have 2 mount dahan in land 3 on board C. And then we just need our jungle dahan. We have 1 jungle dahan on land 2 on board D, and we will have 1 jungle dahan in land 1 on board C. We will have a starting city. I'm just going to put the pre-printed setup icons, and then we'll add the escalation for Scotland. So we have our town there and our city there, our city in land 2 and our town in land 7. We're going to have our starting disease on land 2. And then we're going to have our starting beast in the lowest numbered land without a pre-printed setup icon. That is land 3 on board D, and that is land 4 on board C. I'm going to shuffle the fear deck. The fear deck for level 6 Scotland is a 6/6/4. So get this ready. I do have to put Thunderspeaker starting presence on. Her presence is going to be 1 in each of the 2 lands with the most dahan. So that's going to be land 5 and land 3. Changing up the color scheme here, hoping that brings a little bit more luck. So Thunderspeaker is going to be adorned with the beautiful gold, and we're going to go with the Chardonnay for Grinning Trickster, because he seems like a wine man, if I might say so myself. All right, we're going to get the 6/6/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4. It's probably not Chardonnay. Some wine drinker out there is like, it's a Burgundy. That is not a Chardonnay. And I'm like, yeah, yes, I'm sorry. I'm fouling with my colors. Again, send complaints to Solo Playthroughs Philadelphia. I assure you, you will get a prompt response. All right, we're going to shuffle up the event deck. I know starting for, again, I am sorry for starting so late for people who are across the pond. Hopefully you will enjoy the playback later. Just was how my schedule worked out this week. A lot of interesting stuff going on in my personal life right now. All good things, but they are taking me away from the channel. And then Mrs. Playthroughs is making up for some lost time with the amount of travel that we were not able to do during COVID. So we have a couple of trips planned this summer. And we are finishing up a major construction project in our house as well, which is taking some of my attention away from the urgent matters of Spirit Island and Mage Knight and the like. But I assure you, we will get as much on the channel as I can this summer, and that is something I can promise for sure. So we're gonna put the event deck up here. Actually, can I put this over here? Now I'll put it up there. That will work. I have to shuffle up the major and minor powers. Remember, I have the major powers in blue. I almost said green because, colors are hard. Major powers in blue, and the minor powers are in the lime green. Sagitt, wait, what? Wasn't this supposed to be like days? Yes, this is supposed to be on Thursday, and then I realized that I could not stream on Thursday, so I snuck it in tonight because I could do this without any prep. We're doing ATO on Wednesday, and then again, I will have to bid thee all farewell, bid thee all adieu, I guess is the saying, for the next week and a half, but we will be back by the end of the month. Nataza Pavik, I think I heard you say 4 blights on the blight card. Hello and good luck. No, 4 blights plus 1, so there are 5 blights on the blight card. So the card says 2 per player, and then again, Major Errata came out where it is 2 blight per player, or 2 blight per board, or 2 blight per spirit, because if you're playing with an extra board, I forget how that works, but I think it's 2 blight per board, and then you have an extra blight, because Eric Royce loves you passionately. Sagitt, here I was just jolly barking around about some comments made at the expense of Team Manticore. Yeah. Now, it was either I do this today or I only stream once this week, and considering I'm not streaming at all next week, I figured that would make too many people sad. The fans demand more of solo playthrough singing. Not really, but I would have missed it. I wanted to get this on the channel, and then hopefully, and finally win this. Hopefully. It's either happening on camera now or it's happening off camera later, but it is definitely, I will not be doing a take 4. I think that'd be a little excessive, but I have other things I want to do with Spirit Island for sure, at least on camera as far as that goes. But I don't know. I think you all like watching me suffer a little bit, so hopefully you've enjoyed this little deep dive into this challenge. I still have to go through the escalations for Scotland, so give me a second for that. So, Scotland, additional loss conditions. If we ever have a city in 5 of the 6 lands on the coast, we lose, so we have to stay on top of that. The escalation for stage 2 is ports sprawl outward on the single board with the most coastal cities or towns. Add 1 town to end lands with the fewest towns and equals the number of players. The level 1 escalation is trading port. After setup in coastal lands, explore cards add 1 town instead of an explorer. Coastal land invader cards do this for a maximum of 2 lands per board. Seize opportunity during setup, add a city to land number 2, so we'll have 2 cities in both land number 2s, and then we're going to have to do some things with the Invader deck, and I will walk through that pretty methodically, so we'll make sure we get all of that correct. And land level 3 difficulty, chart the coastline. In coastal lands, build cards affect lands without invaders as long as they're an adjacent city. Now, that city does not have to be coastal itself. If there is an adjacent city, a build will happen very similar to what happens with England, where the build cards will affect lands even if there's no invaders there, as long as there's adjacent towns that allow that, or towns and cities that allow for that build to happen anyway. In this case, we just care about adjacent cities. Level 4, Ambition of a Mightier Nation. During setup, replace the bottom stage 1 card, so again, more Invaders deck stuff. Level 5, Runoff and Bilgewater. After a Ravage action, adds a Blight to a coastal land. Add 1 Blight to that board's ocean without cascading. Treat the ocean on a coastal wetland for this rule, and as a coastal wetland for this rule, and for blight removal / movement, and then exports fuel inward growth. After the Ravage step, add 1 town to each inland land that matches a Ravage card that is within 1 of a town or city. So we'll see if we can't clean off one land, one board here, so we can have both of these spirits focus on the other. Now our final Invader deck is going to have 4 stage 3 cards in the back. I'm going to take one out, and they're going to roll a die again to separate out another one. So we're taking card number 2 out, rolling the die again. I rolled 4. That's going to be separated. This is the bottom 4 cards of our Invader deck. Now going to the stage 2 cards, we're taking the coastal land cards out. I'm going to remove one of the 4 remaining cards from the game. I rolled a 1. I'm going to roll again. I rolled a 6. I'm going to roll again. I rolled a 5, and then we have this card. So I'm going to take this card, put it on top of the 4 stage 3 cards, put the coastal lands card on top of that. We put the stage 3 card there, and then these 2 stage 2 cards will go right there. And now we have the 4 stage 1 cards. We're essentially removing 2 of them. I rolled a 4, rolling the die again. I rolled a 3, so taking out the middle one, and that is our Invader deck. So all the escalations are taken care of. The initial Explore is in mountains. I do wish that was wetlands, because I am scared of what happens if wetlands comes up next, but we shall see. And we'll put 1 Explorer in each of those 4 spots. Most excellent. All right, Trickster. Again, his growth options are spend an energy, reclaim cards, move a presence. Growth option 2 is add a presence 2 away. Growth option 3 is gain a power card. Growth option 4 is gain energy equal to the number of card plays that you have based on your card play track. He is a pick 2 spirit. Special rules: a real flair for discord. After one of your powers, add strife in a land. You may pay 1 energy to add another strife within range 1. It could be in the same land, so strife is super important for Trickster. Getting an event card that negates strife is pretty devastating for how Trickster operates. Cleaning up messes is a drag. After one of your powers removes a blight, destroy 1 of your presence, but ignore that rule for let's see what happens. Innate powers are let's see what happens, and why don't you and them fight? Those are very fun. We will see them play themselves out. Now we have Thunderspeaker. Her growth options, there are 3 of them. Reclaim cards, gain 2 power cards. Add 2 presents, but both presents have to be within range 2 in a land with dahan. And the last one is add 1 presence and gain 4 energy. So super, super strong. We are going to do this very interesting presence track. Lots of elements that we are going to want, especially the top track to really start triggering Lead the Furious Assault. And then we have our special rules. Ally of the dahan. Your presence may move with dahan. Whenever a dahan moves from one of your lands to another, you can move 1 presence with it. Super strong. And then Sworn to Victory. Although I have been sworn to victory this is my 3rd time being sworn to victory. It has not gone very well for me the first 2, so hopefully that sworn to victory thing actually works works its way out into reality this time around. For each dahan destroyed by invaders ravaging a land, destroy 1 of your presence within range 1 after losing presence to blight if relevant. So you can lose a lot of presence that way. Sagitt, no! Next week was supposed to be Maid's Night week. Definitely not. Sagitt says, enjoy a little bit, huh? You don't say. And then Sagitt says, anyway, good luck and see you Wednesday. Maybe if the schedule works out. I hope it does. And if you never made a comment, you never replied to that dude's amazing comment on my last, and I do mean amazing. This is not coded. I love that. It was a super long comment on my last ATO video, but I'm not sure how much of that to digest or take seriously or what's going on. But yeah, it was pretty intense. I need to almost study that before I do my ATO playthrough on Wednesday. Alrighty then, elements that Trickster uses. He uses sun and moon and fire and air and beast or animals. And then Thunderspeaker uses sun and fire and air and animal herself. So, what do I want to do? I don't know. Unexpected Tigers is like one of those cards that I just want to love, and it just doesn't make the magic happen. But I might. But the problem is, well, if I pull Wetlands, Unexpected Tigers is going to be absolutely useless. So if it's not unexpected, if it's not, it could be good. If it's Sands or jungles, it could be most excellent. Incite the mob, not gonna be that great. We have over enthusiastic arson. Yeah, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna play the 2 0-cost cards. But I guess I should pick my growth options. There are 2 of them. One growth option is going to be add a presence 2 away. I think I need to get up to these elements, or do I want to get 3 card plays? I probably want to get 3 card plays. I don't know. It's been a minute. It's what happens when I don't do this stuff off camera. 2 energy could be good. If I get up to 2 energy and then 3 card plays and then kind of figure it out, that might be useful. Getting up to 3 card plays without the 2 energy seems like badness. So I will. Do I need that moon? I do need that moon. Oh, I need an air though. Oh, where's my second air? Yikes. So I won't have Let's See What Happens at all. That makes Greg not happy. I can push a dahan from one of my lands. Oh, man, so I'm going to do that there. Add a presence. Yeah, let me do the yeah, I would like to move a dahan if I'm not. Because if I'm, yeah, let me get another dahan in there. Because then if I'm getting a strife in there, that will make some sense. So I'm going to do bottom track instead of top track because the moon's not helping me anyway. Because I need a second air to get. Let's see what happens. I don't have Why Don't You in that fight either. So I'm going to do bottom track and add a presence into land 2. I have this ability, so let me get another color token to remind me I can do that once around. So I'm going to push 1 dahan and to get a second dahan into there. There are power in numbers indeed. And then I'm going to do my second growth option, in which I think. Oh, I'm going to get 1 energy from the presence track, so let me not forget about that. And I can gain a power card. Because that's fun. I like power cards. I like power cards. They're great. They're super good. All right, we're going to get a power card. Let's see what my options are. We have Reach and Grasp. Target Seer gets +2 with all powers. We have Call to 10, remove a Blight, push up to 3. Remember, Moving Blight's not great for Trickster because it's expensive. We have Land of Haunts and Embers. 2 fear, but woof, adding a Blight. No, that's just not going to work. And then we have Delusions of Danger. Push and Explore, and it does really crush the moon and the air, so I gotta like that. So I will take that. I still think we do Unexpected Tigers because of the freeness of it all. And yeah, I dig that a lot. So that's range 1. Yeah, okay, that's a good card for me. So Reach and Grasp would be interesting because I could target any spirit, but honestly, level 6, we're going to want things that are actually getting things done here. So I'm a fan of that. That is my. Ooh, do I get. If I do 3 card plays next turn, I can get 3 energy and play all 3 of these suckers. That would be an interesting way to go. So I gained the power card. Those are my 2 growth options. All right, I like it. Thunderspeaker, what are we doing with you? Thunderspeaker is got a little bit more of a problem. She can gain 4 energy. She could wipe out that Explorer. If I can get 2 dahan in there, it's an air. It's not going to be good with sudden ambush. Like I do the defend 3 over there next turn. That's not terrible. And manifestation of power and glory is super interesting. And if I can get three dahan in there with 2 presents, I can just wipe out everything in 7, which I don't hate. Gives me some possibilities. Oh, actually, I only need 2 dahan and 2 presents. And then I could do lead the Furious Assault and wipe out everything in 8 and 7. I dig that to some extent. If I can get these 2. Cool. So I'm going to add 1 presence into land, land 1 away. I'm going to add 1 presence there. I'm going to, so I won't have an animal, but that's fine. I won't need it. Push, destroy, get a presence in there. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting uses of manifestation, but I kind of like what it's doing. It's a very different approach. I usually try to spam growth option 2 just to get the presence off of there. But if I can clear out this board, it really would give me a lot more opportunity on Trickster's board. And that's a pretty strong turn for next turn. All right, so I'm going to get the 1 energy for the presence track. I'm going to get the 4 energy from the growth option. We have manifestation of power and glory. Let me do my element checks just to make sure we're being thorough with that. So again, over here for Trickster, we have 1 sun, we have 1 moon, we have 1 fire, we have 1 air, and we have 2 animals. So that gives me, that unlocks none of my innates. It does not lock that was that a right, that wasn't a double negative. Yeah, we're good. I'm making sure I can speak English here. Here we have 2 sun and we have 1 fire. We have no animal and we have 2 plant, and that's going to, or 2 air. It's like plant, it's just different. I mean, you need air to spread out the seeds, which, you know, it does things. And we'll have the 2nd level of Lead the Furious Assault. So all my powers are slow across both of my spirits. So we're going to go to the Invader phase. There is no Blighted Island effect. The event card, we're just going to flip over. We're not going to carry it out because of Jagged Earth rules. Because, again, events were a little bit too swingy to carry out in the first round. I do need to get my fear in the fear pool, so let me not forget to do that. 4. And 8. So again, 8 fear, 4 per player. We're going to now carry out the Invader steps. So we're doing a build step. We're getting a city in land 7. We're getting a town in land 2, 3, whatever. One of those. Like, remember, even if I was thinking about doing sudden ambush there, it wouldn't have mattered because it still would have built a town because of those cities. Remember, Scotland 3. We're getting a town in land 8, and we're getting a town in land 5. We're going to do the explore step. We're exploring into not wetlands, so that makes me happy. We're going to get an explorer into sands, an explorer into sands. We get a town into land 2, and we get an explorer into land 6. So not awful at all. This moves over here, and let's see what we can do. All right, so I'm going to do Voice of Danger. I'm going to push 2 dahan into land 7 from land 5, and I'm going to bring 1 presence with it because of ally of the dahan. That's done. I'm going to do lead the Fury's Assault. I'm going to have to target a land where I have presence. I'm going to destroy one town for every 2 dahan. I'm destroying this town. That's my first earned fear. That's done. And then I'm going to do Manifestation of Power and Glory. I can target a land 0 that has to have dahan. I get 1 fear off the top, and then each dahan deals 2 damage because I have 2 presence there. That's 4 damage. That kills the city and the explorer. That's 2 more fear. So 4 fear. Way to go, Thunderspeaker. Really trying to get a stranglehold on her board will really help, and then I can try to go over there and help out my pal Trickster. All right, Unexpected Tigers. Unexpected, we're going to target land 4. We're going to get a fear because the invaders are present. We're going to gather a beast, so we're gathering this beast. And then if I can gather a beast, do so. So I can gather a beast, and then we're going to push 1 explorer. So that's awesome. We'll push this explorer into land 2 because of why not. So that's done. And then we're going to do Impersonate Authority. I'm going to put a blight, a strife onto land 5, and then spend 1 energy to add a strife within range 1. So target them is 5, so range 1 I could add a strife over into land 7. That seems like that will be fairly useful and should put me in a pretty solid spot for next turn. Cool. Yeah, we can get fear. I like it. All right. Time passes. All the energy I spent goes away. And now we can go back to growth. Let me say, check out the chat. Nope, still back to Sagitt. All right, we're good. Making sure I'm like, did I mess anything up? That seems like a very strong first turn for me, but I could be missing something, and it is Trickster, so things can change quick as much as I love this dude. So, growth option 2, growth option, pick 2. I'm going to add a presence within 2 of where I have presence. Add another strife. Whew. That's interesting. All right. We're going to also get 1 energy per card play. I have 3 card plays, so I'm getting 3 energy. I don't think I've ever actually done a build this way with Trickster. So I'm going to take this in singles. So I can still add a presence. I'm not sure where it's going to go yet. I also get 1 presence from the energy track. We're going to do my element check. Where do I want this presence, dude? So 1, 1, 1. You're off the board. Get on the screen, please. Thank you very much. Move this up. 2, 3. Yes, I speak to my cards and give them instructions. They listen to me, I promise. We're going to add this presence into land. I don't need a sacred site anywhere at this point. Doesn't make sense to go up there. I'll add this presence into land 1. Cause why not? Element check, we get 1 sun. We have 1, I still can move a dahan from one of my lands too, so that's good. 1 sun, we have 2 moon, we have 2 fire, we have 3 air, and we have 1 animal. So that gives me the air threshold for why don't you and then fight. It gives me both thresholds for let's see what happens. I want to see what happens. All right, I'm going to push. I'm going to use this ability to push a dahan in there because that seems super fun. No, I'll push a dahan in there. Push the dahan there. Yeah, let me kill that explorer because I like that idea. No, before I do that. Nope, I can do that now. Yeah, it's fine. It's not going to change the order of operations. So, great. Let me do growth for Thunderspeaker, then we'll come back and see what we're doing with Trickster. I'm my spamming growth option 3 again. I have 2 energy left. Great. Let me do growth option 2 because that's better. So I'm going to add a presence there. I'm going to add a presence there. I'm going to get 2 energy from the presence track. And we're going to do this. Remember, I had to add the presence where I had dahan, or where there were dahan within range 2 of where I was. So, interesting. It's a very different approach from what I normally do, and it seems like I might have stumbled into something, luckily. So 1 sun, 1 fire, 2 air, and 2 animals. That'll be helpful for the animal threshold for Gather the Warriors. So, fast powers. We went from all slow powers last turn to all fast powers this turn. Remember, slow powers really are just fast powers for the following turn. So, over enthusiastic arson, I'm going to target land 8. I'm going to destroy this town. That's a fear. Additionally, I am going to... Yeah, it makes sense. Additionally, I'm going to discard the top card of the minor power deck. It does not provide fire. Oh, that'd have been great for me. It does not provide fire. If it did provide fire, I would have got 1 more fear, 2 damage, and I would have had to add a blight, which would have been a little rough. But other than that, we're totally good. So over enthusiastic arson is done. We have delusions of danger. I can push an explorer somewhere. Honestly, I'm just going to use it for the 2 fear because, fear is good. So 2 fear card. Bam. And that's done. And now I can do... Let's see what happens. Yeah, so again, let's see what happens. This is for anyone who might not be familiar. Discard minor powers from the deck until you get 1 that targets a land. Use this text effect on the target land immediately, ignoring all normal range and targeting restrictions. All up to instructions must be used at max value. Treat all ores as ends. If I have the second threshold, which I do, you can forget a power card to gain the just used power card and 1 energy. Could be a very nice source of energy income. Remember, Trickster gets bored by doing the same old, same old. The reality is, where do I want to use it? There's so many minor powers that add blight that you have to be a little concerned. Now, granted, I just had 1 of them, so there's 1 less of them in the deck. So that could be interesting. But I think, yeah, because I just don't want to blight Cascade and all of a sudden, woof, here we are. Off to the races. I'm going to, let's see what happens in land number... Oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting. I got a lot of interesting things happening right now, kids. I'm going to do this in land number 8. No. I want to do something useful. Man, if I blight Cascade, I guess it's worth the risk. I'm just worried about, again, if an event negates Strife, you're just like, woof. I mean, that's almost more likely than drawing a blight. So we're going to do land number 5. Great. So this is a great card, actually. Veil the Knight's Hunt. So we ignore everything but the text box for each dahan present. Choose a different invader. 1 damage to each of these invaders. So there's 2 dahan there. So we do 1 damage. We kill the explorer. 1 damage to the town. And then I push up to 3 dahan. That's not so great. Remember, all ores are ends. So I now have to push these dahan out of there, which really sucks, which means I'm not going to kill that town, even with the strife there. So again, rough. That goes there, 1 there. That dude, again, there's 1. He only has 1 health left, so hopefully something kills it in the interim. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna forget this power, which I already... Nope. Do I want to forget that power? That gives me fire. Yeah, I'm gonna forget Unexpected Tigers to get Veil the Knight's Hunt, and that's gonna give me 1 energy. I think Delusions of Danger is just distinctly better of an Unexpected Tigers. Is just more flexible. It just doesn't have the fire, but it has the air, and air indeed is good. So I've done this. So I had to push those stupid dahan, which makes me sad. So we'll see if there's any way to salvage that. Rough. Yeah, that was not good. Push up to 3 dahan. Again, I had to do the max. And ors or ends. Yikes. All right. Great. So why don't you and them fight? I'm going to add a strife in a land where I have presence, and then I can spend an energy to add another strife. I will not spend the extra energy because there's no reason, because I think I'm going to use Incite the Mob there. That probably makes the most sense. Yeah, I won't do that. We're good. Remember, the next Invader card off the deck is a level 2 card, and we know it's not Coastal Lands. So we have that going for us. But we are going to be adding a bunch of towns to a land with the fewest towns. On a single board with the most coastal cities. So that's going to be added to Thunderspeaker. Woof. Yeah, there's no point. Again, you'll see what I mean. All right, so this is done. I didn't generate more fear, so now we just have Thunderspeaker's fast powers. Thunderspeaker is going to defend 3. dahan deal damage at the same time as invaders, and then sudden ambush. I may gather a dahan. I will gather a dahan. I'm going to bring a presence with it because ally of the dahan, and then each dahan can destroy 1 explorer. Let's prevent the build in 6. We go to the Invader phase. There is no Blighted Island effect. We get this. Numinous Crisis. Wow. I've seen arguments that you should pretty much just always go Blighted Island and take all the extra energy. And it's like, it's an interesting argument, but it means you're just like, you're major power diving like real early, and it's just a different kind of game. I've never done it. The problem is my other option is I have to pay 3 energy, forget 2 power cards, or return a presence to the track. But I'm just so scared. Like, there's so many Blighted Island cards that are so awful for me right now. And you also add 2 Blight back to the card. I just cannot see how burning through 5 Blight when I'm literally not going to add any for the foreseeable future. I just can't see how it makes sense. And I know there's like higher level players that really just swear by this thing going Blighted Island. I would get 15 energy, but like, oh man, there's so many Blighted Island cards I just absolutely hate. I'm going to be adding so many towns right now. What are my options? Pay 3 energy, returns a presence. I'm pouring my strength on the island, man. I still can't do it. I just think in this matchup, I just can't see how that's gonna work for me. Just not, it's not computing. So I'm gonna add this presence back here. I'll be able to get that back on the board. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna add this presence back here. And if I'm gonna have all the energy, oh, I'm not getting the energy. Yeah, I can't. I'm yeah, I can't do it, kids. What? There are just so many blood on the cards. I really, really hate. So we're gonna do that, especially just at this point in the game. And so we're gonna add 2 more blight onto the card. Now we have 7 blight to play with. All right, 1 fear per board with disease. Both boards still have disease, so that's 2 fear. 2 damage to dahan in a land with disease. That is not applicable. And when invaders ravage in a land with towns, defend 2. Or, sorry, with dahan, defend 2. So we're defended 2 here. We defended 5 here. That is done. We're going to go to the first fear card, the only fear card. Just set by many troubles. I'm just offended more. We're ravaging. Strife comes off. That dude survives. These dudes are dead. That's a fear. This guy's dead. That's all the ravage step. After the ravage step, we add a town to each one that's within range 1. This is not, amazingly, these two are, again, it's only inland lands. And since there's 2 wetlands that are coastal, again, the inland land things are to trigger a lot more here. We're literally going to be adding 4 towns to the inland on Trickster's board in the next couple of rounds, so that's not great. So that goes there. Now we do the build step. Nothing to build here. Disease comes off here. Adding a city here. Nothing to build here. We do the explore step. We're exploring into sands. No source of explorers into 6. We get a town here. We get an explorer here. And an explorer here. Holy crap. Invader cards advance. Oh, and then the escalation triggers on a single board, the most coastal cities or towns. That is indeed Trickster's board. We add a town to end lands with the fewest number of towns. So we're going to do it into 3 and into 1 to try to limit adjacencies into the inland. Alrighty then. That's super interesting. 2 is definitely blighting, and I'm just going to try to set up a massive manifestation of Power of Glory there. And I could potentially do that as soon as next round, right? So we are going to do the Gather the Warriors. I have 2 air and I have 1 sun. So I'm going to gather I'm going to target land 1. I'm going to gather 2, explore 2 dahan. I'm going to bring 2 presence, and I can push 1. I will not push 1. We're just going. Now I can push 1 into here with the presence to kind of be a little more diversified on board C. All right, so done. Whew. That town's gonna survive. That's super annoying. If I get the 3 air again, I can protect all of that. Yeah, I'm not that worried about 7. I have the 2 dahan in there, which is great. I don't like this explorer here, but I can push him with Delusions of Danger. Yeah, I should be in decent shape with sand. So what I'm going to do is to incite the mob. 1 invader with strife is going to deal damage to other invaders in its land. So I'm going to deal 3 damage from this invader. The strife does not go away. It stays. It's going to do 3 damage to this dude. It kills that city, so that's 2 fear plus an additional fear because an invader was destroyed. If I had managed to kill the a town and an explorer, I would have gotten a fear for the town, and then 2 more fear because I killed 2 invaders. So it definitely stacks a little bit, which is super nice. All right, and time passes. These all come down here. Just wondering about this numinous crisis thing. That was like a really interesting choice for sure. But I still think that's the right play. So we're gonna have to reclaim cards. So we're reclaiming cards with Trickster. That cost him an energy because he hates doing that. So we have all of our cards. And then we're going to add a presence to get a 3rd card play again. That's going to really help. Why don't you and them fight? And I'm going to add this presence to land. Oh, this guy heals. So again, those dahan getting pushed wasn't great. I don't need a sacred site with any of this crap. Yeah, I'm definitely letting a blight go there. It's going to add one to the ocean as well. I know. It is what it is. Let's get these dice out of the way. I'll add this presence to 5. I'm going to get 1 energy from the presence track. I have 3 card plays, and I'm going to obviously want to add more strife in land 7. But I can do Veil the Knight's Hunt, get rid of those explorers. Could do Over Enthusiastic Arson. I only have 2 energy though, so woof. And then Personate Authority. Nah, I want to push that Explorer. Yeah, I don't need Over Enthusiastic Arson. There's really no reason to push that. Those are some good cards for next turn. Alright, that's fine. So we have 2 energy there. We'll do the element check. We have 2 sun. It's like moon, it's just different. 2 moon, 3 air, no fire, 2 animal. Third animal's pretty sick. It's not gonna matter. Yeah, the third animal's not gonna matter. So 2 animal. All right, we're going to Thunderspeaker. Thunderspeaker is reclaiming cards. Oh, I can't get a manifestation next turn. Woof. Huh. Yeah, I'm not gonna have the energy, which is really unfortunate. I'm close to the energy, but I will not have the energy. Yikes. Alright, that's fine. We'll have we have a blight issue on 2, but we have 7 blight to play with, so it could be worse. So I'm gonna gain minor powers, Infest with Aquifer, Song of Sanctity, Call to Trade. I do not hate Call to Trade. I needed the Han in there to make it work. It might be Scour the Land. Woof. Also adding a blight. Gather, get this town back. Remember, we're going to have that escalation again, which is going to be really rough. Song of Sanctity only would let me remove blight from mountains or jungles. I'm only going to have 2 energy, so I can't do sudden ambush and call to trade. That's not great. I could try to get call to trade available for next turn. Yeah, I'm going to get the call to trade. It might be useful next turn. We'll see. That's out. I get another power card. I'm tempted to go major, but I think Manifestation of Power and Glory is already too good, and I'm going to want 3 card plays next turn. So minor, call to isolation. Oh, that's a way to get a dahan in there. Yeah, call to isolation. Sky stretches ashore. May one use this turn. Target spirit may use 1 slow power as if it were fast. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Target length is +3 for. So if I used Manifestation of Power and Glory as if it was fast, that's probably better than anything else I could do here. Call to Ferocity, Call to Isolation, Cycles of Time and Tide. Yeah, I'm gonna get Sky Stretches ashore. And then my whole game plan for next turn is just to use Manifestation of Power and Glory as fast. That's going to cost me 4. That's a nice combo. And what can I do this turn? Just to get all the dahan in there. I'm going to get 1 energy from the presence track. My elements are kind of garbage. Three cards. Yeah, I wish I could get a dahan in there for call to trade. That's fine. I can get the 2 there. No, I'm pushing that dude anyway. Defend 3 is not gonna matter. I did the element check. I'm gonna have the 2nd threshold for that, and I have. Oh, I don't have a fire. I don't have any fire, so I don't have. Let's see what happens. Am I good with that? Yeah, I'm kind of good with that. Yeah, it's fine. No, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens has not done much great for me in the last 3 games anyway. Why would I expect that to change? So, first Ravage becomes a build. Oh, man, if I could get that out of there. That's a problem. Because after the Ravage step, that's going to get a town. That's going to get a town. That's going to become a city in the build step. Crap. That is very not good. Which I think goes back to my initial plan. I do call to isolation instead of sky stretches to shore. I push a 10 in there. I do call to trade. I get manifestation eventually. Just have all these escalations. Yeah, I wish they came out. I wish Sky Treasure Shore came out and then called Isolation. That's a really nice combo. Because then I could have all the cards I needed. But we're doing Call to Isolation and Call to Trade. It's a lot of calling. I only have 2 cards. Those are them. I'm going to put $1 there. I'm going to target a land that has a Dahan. I'm going to push 1 away from where I have presence. So I'm going to push this Dahan into there with. I will not bring up. Will not bring a presence. Let me do an element check, by the way. I have 1 sun, no fire, 2 air, and 1 animal. So that does give me this. So I pushed a Dahan, and then here I am. I'm going to target a land with Dahan. I'm going to gather a Dahan. I don't want to. It's Terra level 2 or older. I can gather a town, so I'm going to gather this town. And the first ravage in the target land becomes a build instead. So I'll put a reminder token here and a reminder token there. Seeing the elements. Looks like a strong start. Yeah, it was. Event kind of threw me for a loop, Eric. I'm not sure I made the right choice. I'm second guessing myself, but we'll see. All right, fail the Knight's Hunt. I'm going to do, for each Dahan, I'm doing 1 damage. So 1, 2, and 3. So that city's on the side with 2 health left. Delusions of Danger. I'm going to target a land 1 away from my presence. I'm going to push an Explorer. I'm going to push this Explorer here. Because why not? And then we're going to do Why Don't You and then Fight. I'm going to add a Strife on this city. And then I'm going to, I have no more energy to add a second Strife. And I didn't have Let's See What Happens, so I couldn't get the energy from that. Woof. I'm pretty sure I took the energy from the presence tracks, so you know, yeah, I'm not getting maximum effect out of my strifing, but is what it is. I did not even generate 2 fear for that, which is a little unfortunate, but we'll see what this event does. So event card. Stages 1 and 2, we are in stage 2. On each board with exactly 1 coastal city, add a town to a coastal land without a city. That's not great. I'll add this town up here in land 1. So we have 2 coastal cities there, so that doesn't apply. Stricken and lands with disease and strife, invaders skip ravage actions. Shoot. Woof. So they're skipping the ravage action. This is what happens with Trickster with me lately. I love Trickster, but your plans not working out is the absolute name of the game with him lately. So skipping ravage actions in some places, and then on each board choose a land with a town and Dahan. Push 1 town per 2 Dahan there. So and it's not optional. So I'm going to. So we're basically skipping ravage actions in both places. Woof. I'm going to push this thing here. The joys. Yeah, land 2 is going to be bananas. And then over here, I could push this town. It's building again. It's so bad, dude. I could push this town here. That's gonna get that's so bad. I really needed an isolate. I needed an isolate action real bad. Because now 4 is gonna get loaded up. So frustrating. Not good, kids. Oh, I could have. Right. I had this option too. Did not want to push a dahan from anywhere, so I just didn't do that this turn. Um, so this is the event. We now do the invader steps. We're doing our ravage step, except they're skipping that ravage thanks to call to trade. They're skipping this ravage because there's strife there, and because of the event. So ravage step is done. After the ravage step, we have to do some awfulness. We have to add a town to each land matching the ravage card that is within stage 1 of a town. So 6 we can still skip, but we are getting a town here and we are getting a town here. Oh. Yeah, it's really bad. Building. We're building a city here. We're building a city here. Exploring. Wetlands. That's super awful. So immediately, so we do this immediately on the single board. That's definitely here. We're adding a town here and a town here. Now we explore. So again, I did the escalation because of the symbol. Now we explore. We're getting a town here and a town here, and just an explorer here. Invader cards advance. That is definitely ravaging cascading next turn. There's nothing I can do about that. I just want to get this guy out of here so I can gather up to 2 and push up to 1. I'll gather up to 2, get him out of there, and push up to 1, get this into here. And then again, I want to try to get everything in there and do a massive manifestation of power and glory. It's going to have to be 2 turns from now, I think. We know that's a stage 3 card. That could be super problematic. Woof. That could be a problem. Yikes. Alright, we are going to do Impersonate Authority. I have no energy, so I cannot get this double strife. That's the 3rd time in a row. That's not a good trend. We're going to add a strife to this city. Time's going to pass. This guy heals. These go away. That is 2 times in a row I was set up to kill some invaders during the ravage, and something went awry. That is not a good trend. Not a good trend at all. And I need money. And I need power cards. And I need a lot of things. So what I'm going to do is not add a power this turn, which again, Numinous Crisis is striking again. I'm going to gain energy equal to my card plays, which is 3. And I'm going to gain a 3rd power card. I already have this. I need a power card with an air, because this is actually for this. I need a power card with an air. So I can do Why Don't You and then fight. Just woof. Yeah, I had 0 energy. I definitely needed energy. No air. Air. Desiccating Winds. Why not? Seems awesome, except I need a Sacred Side, which I don't have. No air. Air. Bird's Cry Warning. Most excellent. Alright. That's a great card for me. I'm also going to get 1 energy from the presence track. So 1, 2, 3. Let's make some magic happen. We do an element check. I have just 1 moon, because I never got that off, which is terrible. 1 sun, 2 fire, 3 air, and 2 animals. So we have Why Don't You and then fight. And we have the first level of Let's See What Happens. So reclaiming the cards over here. Thunderspeaker is adding Oh, I could do it this turn. I wouldn't have gathered a warriors. We wouldn't have to do with the stage 2 escalation, so that will help. So no more 2 towns. I can kill that explorer. We are gonna have to add a town there, which I hate. I think I have to add 2 presents. Am I just doing 2 card plays all the way down? I might be. Woof. I might be. If they're ravaging there this turn, I'm not defending 3 anywhere. Who cares? Oh, crap. That's gonna ravage. So I could defend 3 there. But I needed the dahan there, which is problematic. Sudden ambush, fire and sun. It's not gonna work. Alright, I had 1 presence. I'm gonna get 6 energy total. 2 from the presence track, 4 from the growth option. Only having 2 card plays. Not doing Lead of Furious Assault, so I'm not triggering that enough. But I can kill this at least. Kill that. I will not have... There's no dahan there, so I can't defend 1. I can see what happens there. Yeah, defending, well, maybe. I wouldn't have a moon, but that's, I wouldn't have a gather the warriors, but I think that's fine. Alright, play these 2 cards. I still have a presence I could put somewhere on the board. I'll put this presence here. Actually, here's fine. That will add a town. Hopefully I'll be able to wipe it out. Or something. Hopefully something will happen with the event card or something. So, these 2 cards are not played yet. Trickster's gonna have to reclaim again, which isn't great, but... You know, we'll start getting presents out eventually. So, I can move a dahan from one of my lands. I don't want to. So I'm going to see what happens. I want to see what happens in 4. Yeah. I'm going to see what happens in 4. Is this a land targeting power? Yeah, that was. It is 2 fear if invaders are present. So 2 fear if invaders are present. They are. That's a fear card. Isolate target land. We do not have isolate tokens in Burgundy, so I'll take them from the purple. A little color clash for y'all. I can't possibly keep it because I do not have the second moon to give that an option. I'm gonna have to hope something wipes that out. So it is what it is. I was hoping to have like a case of Gathered at Dahan in there. We have Words of Warning. It's just there's nothing else I want to do with that. I'm going to push up to 2 dahan from here. Get 5 dahan in here. We are going to add a strife here. Spend $1, my last energy, to add a strife range 1. We'll add a strife here into land 1. We still haven't sight the mob, which is might not be that useful, but we will find out. And then we're going to over-enthusiastic arson in land 3. Oh, it's still adjacent to a city. Shoot. That's fine. Yeah, I still think that's fine. Because part of me is like, do I just kill this town then? It's isolated. Oh, the nice thing about that is it won't add another town after the rapid step because it'll be isolated, so that's good. This might add a town of that town, so there. Yeah, I'm gonna over-enthusiastic arson in land 3. So we do a minor power. It does. Oh, it has a fire. Of course it does. I kill this town. We get 1 fear. I add a blight from the card. I get another fear, and I do 2 more damage, but there's nothing else there to do damage to. And I have a bug on my get away. I have a bug on my dahan. Whew. Events that make you second guess yourself are the best ones. As drama, says Eric. Yeah, dude. They happen a lot with Trickster, right? All right, sudden ambush. I'm going to kill this explorer, which is good. And I have this defend 3, which I now can't use anywhere. It's fine. I really didn't want it for other things, so we'll just defend 3 here in case something happens that matters. So 6 blight left on the card. All right, Invader phase. Nothing happened in there. Oh, we do have element check 1 fire, 1 2 3 air, and 2 animal, which gives me this. All right, event. Tighten the communities for the rest of this turn. Towns and cities have +1 health. Glad I'm not doing manifestation this turn. Beast. Each beast destroys 1 explorer. Add a beast, I think, without 1, and then on each board add 1 dahan to a coastal land with dahan. Dun dun dun. So doesn't apply on land D. It does apply on land C, or board D. It does apply on board C. We have, nope, that's the event card. This can go away. We have our second fear card. Each player removes 1 explorer from an inland land. There are no explorers inland, so that was super useful. Wary of the interior. Woof. Alright, Ravage. Blight here destroys a presence from Trickster. Blight Blight into the ocean here. Ravaging 10 here, but actually because of all the strife, it becomes a 0. Dahan retaliate, wipes out both these cities and both these towns. There are 5 dahan there. That's 6 fear. That's a fear card. Key. After the ravage step, we have to put a town here. This is isolated. We do put a town in 6. We're building in wetlands. Nothing to build there. It's not a coastal land, so it doesn't matter that it's adjacent to a city. We are building here because it is a coastal land that's adjacent to a city. So the fact that a strife got added, a blight got added there was super awesome, can I tell you? And we are building a city here. Again, nothing to build here at 8. Explore step. Wow. Wetlands and mountains. So wetlands gets a town. Wetlands gets a town. Wetland gets an explorer because that stupid freaking town got landed over there. Wetlands gets an explorer. And now mountains. Mountains gets a town. That one town added 3 explorers over there. That's horrendous. Mountains gets an explorer. Mountain gets an explorer. Invader cards advance. That one stupid town. Yeah, this is going poorly, to say the least. Wow. We have 3 coastal lands that have cities. Incite the mob. This dude's going to do damage to this town. That's 1 fear, and then plus 1 fear because 1 invader was destroyed. We're not ravaging their next turn, so that's helpful. I can gather up to 3 and push up to 1. I will gather these 3 and this one. I'm going to get a big manifestation in land 2 next turn. But woof, this has taken a very strange turn. All right, time passes. Oh man, I'm gonna have to. I'm getting no presence on the board. This is so nutty. Numinous crisis has killed me. All right, we're going to get 3 energy. I'm gonna get 1 more for the presence track eventually, but I have to spend 1 energy to get my cards back, and I can move a presence, but you know, who needs presence? We're just I can also move a dahan from one of my lands. That seems kind of useful. I'll just move a dahan into there because why not? Do I want to move a presence around? Maybe. I'll take another orange to remind me I have that power up here, and then as I think through things in the fast power phase, I can make that decision. This comes off. You know what? Woof. This is nutty. Yeah, I do want to move a presence. We'll move this presence here. So that's done. I did push a dahan, and my second growth option was reclaiming cards. So, excellent. Thunderspeaker, what are we doing? Thunderspeaker is going to add 2 presents? Seems right. Do I want those elements? Do I want to get the 3 card plays? Gets me close to reclaim 1, which seems pretty strong. Those elements aren't going to do anything for me. So, sure. I'm going to add. It's a little unfortunate, yeah, that I'm not going to have even this a singular animal. I should have played Words Cry Warning last turn and Voice of Thunder last turn and Words Cry Warning this turn, just to have an animal both rounds. But I was hopeful that if I got a dahan on there, that I could defend 3, because defend 3 doesn't really do much for me otherwise. So just a bunch of things that did not really come together for me. All right, we're gonna get the 2 energy here from the presence track. I did growth option 2 to be clear. I had 4 energy left over from last turn. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna put these 2 presents on the board somewhere. And since I have to reclaim gaining power cards, I'll have 3 card plays next turn, which is super nice. All right. Element check 2, 1, 2. No, 2, 1, 3, and 0. I'll be doing a massive amount of damage in land 2, and just hope I can get lucky with some fear cards and some events. Wary of the Interior would have been awesome this turn, not last turn. Which again, like, let's see what happens, kind of screwed me, because it gave me that fear card last turn, and I really needed it this turn. It's just like a number of things that have just gone like not great is super annoying. I can add both the 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, 3, 6, 9, 17. Yeah. I'm just adding them both there. We gotta do it. We gotta go crazy in land 2. There's just way too much going on there. All right, those are my things. We have. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. If I get another dahan there. So if I wipe out 2 of these, 3, 6, 9. 5 times 20, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 4 times 5 is 20. Three, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That is actually all I need. I could put these presents elsewhere. I'll put a presence here and a presence here. Because, yeah, I think that's just a better array of things. All right, 3 cards. Woof. All right. You. Oh, man. So many bad things are building. And we know that's a Coastal Lands card too, so it's just like what so bad. Wetlands, Coastal Lands is like worst case scenario on board D. Like on board C. I don't even know why I'm messing with this, to be quite honest with you. This is not going well. This goes away. This is going poorly. Oof. I could do this. Try to set something up with that. Gives me that. And that. So I have the second and fourth levels. Why don't do them fight again? I don't get a sun's a fire, but I think I have to do this just from where I'm at with my hand right now. Very wishing I did Numinous Crisis, the other alternative here. Can I get? That's interesting. Could do that. So then I get the second and the third level, which is a little bit more useful. I still don't have, let's see what happens. But I can spam some fear here. Alright. I'm going to... Shoot, I won't have the... It doesn't matter. Now we'll go back to the original scheduled program. So I was trying to do level 2 of this there and level 3 of this there. It doesn't work. Alright, here we go. So we're going to do Veil the Night's Hunt. I'm going to push up to 3 dahan. I'm going to push these 3 dahan. I'm going to do Bird's Cry Warning. The next time dahan will be destroyed, destroy 1 less or 2 less. It's like 1 less. It's just better. We're going to do Wanaju and then fight. I'm going to add a strife and then spend my last energy at a second strife. And I don't have, let's see what happens. That is all she wrote. Those tokens came from the wrong place. No fast powers over here. We'll go forward. Invader phase. No blighted landed effect. Event card. What do we have? Alright. We are fear level 1. For the rest of this turn, don't generate fear when destroying cities or towns. Do not generate fear when destroying cities or towns. And I'm about to generate about 16 fear. That is really bad, man. Yeah, it's been unreal, like how unlucky I've been with the events in this specific matchup. It just could not have handpicked worse events. I like I'm about remember Scotland's fear deck is 664. So I would have almost, I mean, between 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, that's 10 fear I am not going to get now. And that's a huge deal. On each board, the land with the most combines invaders, and oh, that's also gross. On each board, the most combined invaders and dahan. Add a disease and 2 damage to the dahan. So obviously that's here. 2 damage to dahan. You have to apply efficiently. So this guy's dead. We're gonna. That's 5. That's 5. I can choose. I will do it here. This guy's dead. Offers of patterns of dance. Each spirit with at least 2 dahan in its lands gains an energy. Well, that's Thunderspeaker. Everyone should act surprised about that. Fear card. Angry mobs. Each player may replace one town with 2 explorers. 1 fear per player who does this. Okay. All right. That town becomes 2 explorers. This town becomes 2 explorers. And that's 2 fear. Ravage. This guy's dead. This guy's injured. Done. Ravaging 1. These strife come off. We blight. Cascade into the ocean. This would kill 1.5 dahan. Instead, it kills 0 because the birds, they were like, gah, gah! That's what they do. This retaliates and kills this town and the city. Oh, that gives me 0 fear. So that's super cool. What a disaster. And that's done. After the ravage step, anything within 1 gets a town if it matches the ravage type. And that's only inland land, so it does not apply for land 1 or land 3 on board D. We now do the build step. This mountain gets a town. This mountain gets a city, so that's 3 coastal lands that have cities. This gets a city. This gets a... Nope, that disease comes off. This is going very poorly. We build in wetlands now. That gets a town. This gets a city. This gets a city, so that is now 4 coastal lands with the city. So if we get a 5th one, we lose. This gets a town because it's adjacent to a city and it's a coastal land. Explore step, act surprise, coastal lands. So town, explorer, and town, explorer. Invader cards advance. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much over. I'm gonna gather. I'm gonna push up to 2. These both push in here. I'll bring my presence in. We're gonna get 1 fear off the top, and then we're going to do 16 damage. Oh, so I take that back. I'm gonna destroy 2 towns there because I have 4 dahan. I don't get any presents for that, so Lead the Furious Assault is done. And now I'm going to get 1 fear off the top, and then I'm going to do 16 damage. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I get no fear from that. I'm a little salty about that. Woof. I'm going to be able to add a strife here. I mean, it's kind of pointless at this point. So that's done and done. Invader cards advanced. Yeah, time passes. This is what I meant to say, but I said something else that was nonsensical. These come off. Trickster is going to get this growth option to get 3 energy. And he's going to add a presence within 2 of where he has presence. Not sure it matters. But we'll add presence there. We get 1 energy from the presence track. I can move a dahan from a land where I have presence. Sure, move this dahan there. We are going to do these cost 1 each. Element check, we have 1 sun, we have 1 2 moon, because I finally unearthed the moon on the top track. We have 1 2 fire, we have 1 2 3 air, we have 1 animal. I'm going to do overenthusiastic arson and land 8. I kind of wanted to have a fire. It does not. I destroy a town. I get a fear. I should have 10 more fear, which is yeah, almost all the way to terror level 2. But alas, it was not meant to be. I should have put this presence, this thing here. It made a lot more sense. Oh, my bad. I should have picked my I should have done my growth option with Thunderspeaker. Thunderspeaker's reclaiming cards. We're gonna have to go majors because it's desperate here. Weave together the fabric, blood rack plague. Vigor of the Breaking Dawn, 2 damage per dahan. Yeah, I'm hopeless to be quite honest here. I'll take Vigor though. I'll drop something. I will drop call to trade. Get another major. Fen 20. I like the Fen 20. Ooh, draw towards a consuming void. Yeah, cult isolation can go away. We're gonna get 2 energy from the presence track. I mean, just all 4 lands are just utter crap, but just so, I mean, literally that 1 town and just like bam, like now 4 lands are garbage. Yeah, these cards just wetlands. I mean, it's been really bad, really bad. I don't know how. Sun. Good work. Okay. That's gonna play Cascade. We're going Blooded Island. I mean, we're ravaging substantially in all eight lands because I have had negated 0. I ended up effectively negating 0. 0 builds just with how things came off. This goes here. This goes here. Element check. We have 3 sun, 2 fire, or 2 animal, 2 air, 3 air, and no fire. Jesus. How do I have no fire? Every time. How do I have no fire? Alright. God, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Great. So, Lead of Furious Assault, do not have that again, but I do have this. I also have the kicker for Vigor of the Breaking Dawn. So... yeah, I'm going to target land 2 with Vigor of the Breaking Dawn. I'm going to push up to 2 dahan. I push into here. Since I push that, I can bring 2 dahan into there. Ooh. I could push a dahan there and there. And I'll bring the presence. Wolf. In the lands, push to 2 damage per dahan present. So there's 1 dahan present there, just 2 damage, kills that town. That's a fear. There's 2 dahan present there, they do 4 damage. It kills 2 towns. That's 2 fear. Invader fear card. And then I can defend 3 in a land with dahan. I will defend 3 here. Either way is just an absolutely garbage option. So that's a thing that I'll have to contend with. That's fine. We did that. We have I done? Let's see what happens yet. I have not. I don't think I've done the element check. I have 1, 2, 3 sun or 3 moon. Did I do? Let's see what happens yet. Pretty sure I didn't. Sucking ooze. Fire. Right, I haven't done the rest of this yet. So element check, I have the 2nd level of this. I have why don't you and then fight. And that's good. Alright, let's see what happens in land 8. That is not a land targeting power. I can gather up to 3 dahan. I have to gather all of them. I can push up to 3 dahan. I have to push up to all of them. So gather 3. Push 3. Again, there is no up to. It's got to do max. I can keep this. If I keep it, I get an energy and have to forget another card. I will forget Bird's Cry Warning to get called to migrate. When I get called to migrate, I get an energy. Those are the cards I played last turn. I'm going to do why don't you and then fight, targeting land 1, putting a strife, and then spending an energy to add a strife here. And then I'm just going to push an explorer. I mean, it don't matter. I'll just get 2 fear. I'll target a land and get 2 fear. And I think we're toast my ghost on this one. Event card. Terror level 1, temporary truce and lands with dahan. 1 dahan and 1 Invader did not participate in ravages. That's always so awesome for me when I'm set up with strife. I would tell you this event deck is just on such a hard counter. Like I don't even know why I'm trying right now. 1 fear per beast that takes a damage. Speak of spirit damage for each board. 1 fear if there are any dahan and lands, cities, and towns. So that's 2 fear. Our 1 fear card is Community Disarray. Each town or each city does 1 damage. If it is not healed, damage ended a ravage. And now we're ravaging. So mountain, that's a blight. That is a disintegrating. Oh man, I really should have done Numinous Crisis. On each board, so we're gonna have 10 blight here. Disintegrating ecosystem. Destroy 1. Because what really killed me was I lost so much. I putting the presence back on, I just never really caught up. But I'm destroying this on each board, and then I'm adding a blight to a land with cities and towns from the card. We did mountains first. Woof. I'll add it here. Only ravage actions make it go into the thing. I'll add it here, and I will add it here. No, I'll add it here. Great. Rest of the mountains. They are killing my things. I lose a presence, I lose another presence. Because, was it for each? Woof. I lose another presence. So I lost 3 presents with 1 blight here. That didn't go well. Up here, we're blight cascading. I lose a presence. Up there, injured. Retaliate. Wipes him out. That's a fear. We now do wetlands. Blight. Oh, that's right. They don't participate. That changes some things. He didn't participate. This blight goes up there. Town goes here with a strife. Here, this dude didn't participate. So I lost 1 less thing, so I lost 1 less presence. I don't think that mattered anyone else here. Like this guy and this guy won't participate. No, this guy and this guy won't participate. He'll participate. He's got a strife. He gets knocked out by the dahan. So that's a fear. In lands with the Han, that's the only thing. So yeah, everything participated in, except in lands that had the Han. But I mean, here's another problem. They got blight, cascade, blight. Yeah, this game's over, man. I'm not playing this out. This is a disaster. So, oh, that was super frustrating. Yeah, there's nothing. I think that was all the ravages. Then you got mountains. I mean, you're gonna have to add a 2 more towns because of the escalation. I mean, I have incite the mob. I get some more fear. I mean, if I had 2 more fear cards, like all of a sudden you're a terror level 2, and you got, and each player chooses a different land. Got up to dahan, 1 damage per dahan present. Could have been awesome. Depart the dangerous lands. Each player removes 1 explorer town from a land with disease to dahan or beast. I mean, there's definitely just the number of things that just kind of blew up my face. Was it was a very, very frustrating game of Spirit Island. So I'm calling it quits. Boris, message retracted. So I'm a little bitter about that one. My strategy wasn't the best. I think I had a really interesting comment where they think that I'm kind of favoring short-term tactics to the detriment of like long-term strategies. And I think that's a fair comment about my approach to Spirit Island lately. It's something that I do think about, that I have been thinking about now as I'm playing and trying to like self-correct that a little bit. But I just, the number of events that were just like absolute gut punches. I mean, Numinous Crisis is like, it's tough, dude. It's a tough thing to be like, oh, I have 5 blight on the card. Let me take 15 blight and go blighted island. Yeah, that would have been fine with. I mean, it wouldn't have been great, but it would have been okay with the disintegrating ecosystem. But I mean, that would. There's a lot of other things on here where that would absolutely suck, dude. Like, yeah, promising farmlands would have been really bad, right? I mean, you're like especially where I had board C. I mean, there's just a number of things that just all things weekend. I just really don't like that card. I mean, some of these healthy island cards. Oh, now you're gonna add 10 fear, so it'd be 60 fear just to get the terror level 2. Like, there's so many blooded island cards that I think you're just stomaching such a curveball in there. Or Numinous Crisis, it's like, let me just add a presence off and see if I can make up for it. But obviously that didn't work out. This one was, oh yeah, in lands with strife, you skip the Ravage actions. That sucked. This wasn't terrible. Tight knit communities wasn't bad the way that played out, but then don't generate fear for destroying cities and towns was crushing because it really messed up any chance I had of dealing with that. And the temporary truce in lands with dahan, yeah, just not, whatever. I mean, I was pretty much already screwed by then. I don't think that would have really mattered. But I mean, just not having the extra fear, not being able to do like, let's see what happens. This has been an absolute whiff for me. When I was like, oh, I got to push all my friggin' dahan out of there, so I can't set the things up that I was trying to set up. So, it's just a little bit unfortunate. Tried to get a little lucky with the let's see what happens. Oh, maybe I can gather a dahan. Then if I can gather a dahan, I could have defended 3. The manifestation was, I think that was cool with 2, but again, just that one town not being able to get an isolate. Like if I had an isolate here and there were no adjacencies there for that town. So it's like, again, we had the most cities and towns here. The escalation made us add towns. There's really no good place to add a town. I mean, I guess that is one argument to say, like, when I added the towns, I probably should have made sure the towns weren't added within range 1 of 6, because that was really, really gross. But then if there's a town down there, I still get an explorer into 5 and 7. I guess you're getting an explorer into 5 no matter what. The bigger problem was it gave me an explorer in 7 and 8 because they both were now adjacent to 5. So I guess here, at least, if I had added the towns from the stage 2 escalation, like here and here, I maybe saved myself like the tip of board C, where I don't get anything into land 8 that way. I mean, that could make a big difference. I mean, that's a pretty rough escalation. So I don't know. I just feel like a lot of things were just kind of working against me. Like, my card draws were fine. They weren't great. There is an argument that maybe I should have kept the, it's the ability Sky Stretches Ashore, but I wasn't really slamming my my card. But I guess that could have. I mean, if I had Sky Stretches Ashore and Manifest, Sky Stretches Ashore and what's it, Manifestation of Power and Glory, and like I'm getting up to my energy track, like there's definitely an argument there. And then you get the Reclaim 1, like there's some really nice combos there. I mean, plus you'd always be hitting the Lead of Furious Assault if you're doing that over and over again, so that would have been something to really consider. But I just never really got Trickster off the ground. There was like Numinous Crisis hit, and then all of a sudden I'm in this weird reclaim loop because I was trying to get all the strife out there. Where all of a sudden, and I wasn't hitting let's see what happens at all the second level, so I wasn't forgetting cards to get the extra energy. So I'm in this weird reclaim loop where I'm doing like growth option D just to get more energy, just to get reclaims. I was like, there were like 2 turns where I didn't put a friggin' presence out, and that's the kiss of death. I mean, you have to start getting that 2 energy, that any element, get the. I mean, 3 card plays is fine, but the fact that I wasn't able to get 2 energy and that any element, like, that was really hamstringing me over here. So just a kind of a frustrating playthrough, like all around. So I have to maybe watch it back and like, just could have been an approach thing. I think one of the things too, like the first round was so good, like I probably got like some weird like false sense of security, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, that Numinous Crisis was not the event I expected. It very much kind of put me on my heels for the rest of it. You know, I always wonder like, how many of these things like negate strife. I mean, there's not a lot of them, but I feel like when I play with Trickster, there's like a billion. I just, for the rest of this turn, ignore one strife on each Invader. This includes not removing it. So that's one. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of Invader cards here for me to pull those friggin' strife ones as often as I do when I'm playing with Trickster. One. This is so stupid, dude. Missionaries arrive. Where's a good missionaries arrive when you need it? I mean, here's a little rain. I'll take that. God, I would have taken a lot of these. Struggles of growth. That's an interesting one. As much as I love the event deck, it's a game like this where I'm like, I understand why people hate the event deck. Like, Outpace would have been interesting. Blah. Advantage of +1. Yeah, there are not that many cards here that negate strife, man. And you're only pulling like 7 or 8 of these a game, right? So the fact that I just keep seeing them in this matchup is super gross. Boris says, nice try, man, but hard adversary. It's hard. It's hard. I do think if I'm learning one thing, like I really should when I kind of just willy-nilly put those 2 towns like there and there. I probably should have stayed away from 6, knowing that because at that point I knew what that build card was. I'm pretty sure, so that was a mistake. I shouldn't have put myself in that place, and I did it 2 turns in a row, but I got lucky the previous turn. Not really lucky. I did the I comboed that call to trade, call to isolation, where I pulled that town down, and then I was able to prevent that adjacency. So you look, that's I don't even know why I'm like analyzing this thing so much because that's board like on board D against Scotland. That's not a viable option. Like that is not a thing that works. If you're being realistic, if Thunderspeaker was on board D, I think that's a fairer matchup. I just don't think the way Trickster operates, like that's ever going to end well. Not with 2 cities on land 2 at the very start of the game. You're just absolutely asking for some serious trouble, and not the good kind that you're trying to stir up. You're just being like, oh, okay, that's kind of game over. So Invader deck order very much matters. But yeah, I'll do this off camera, and like I will the way things work for me, I'll do this off camera and I'll smush it the first time because that's. But I'll let you know. How many attempts this is going to take off camera. But hopefully I actually kind of hope it takes more than one because I'll be so mad. But it is what it is. But I will be back on Wednesday. We will get Aeon Trespass Odyssey back in the channel one more time before I head off for a little bit, and then so super excited about that. We are picking up a day 11, so we are in double-digit days, which is super awesome. And then next time we get back to Spirit Island, I'm not sure what I want to do. To be quite honest, I mean, there's so many ways I could go. Always happy for recommended setups and suggestions and matchups. I mean, I might just again spin the. I mean, I ended up in this matchup by just spinning the wheel. I kind of want to do Lore and Ocean again too. That was like a matchup that kind of got away from me. Again, I've lost a lot in a row here on the channel. That was a match that kind of got away from me. Lore, I think, is a spirit I could benefit from, spending more time with, and I just find them so like strong and broken in some ways. But it was like Lore Ocean versus England. I thought was really fun too. So I wouldn't mind revisiting that matchup. So maybe we'll put that back on the channel. I'm definitely done the patron challenge one where I had the migraine. I'm kind of done with that matchup. I that still felt like a win to me, like in hindsight. So like I'm not that worried about it. Just the way I was able to stay in control of that board and had a path to victory that I just couldn't see through throbbing pain in my skull was again, I'm counting that as a victory for sure. Nataza says I also struggle about the same things with Thunderspeaker, energy, reclaim, and never a time for presence. Yeah, I see that. I mean, Thunderspeaker. I, dude, and putting the thing back, just putting that one presence back on the board was so gross. And that's again, that was probably an approach thing. I probably should have. This was my opportunity to be like, you know what? Some really good players just figure it out and say it's always the right thing to just do Numinous Crisis the way I've never done it. So I probably should have just tried it. But I felt like I was in such good shape that I was like, you know what? Now is not the time. Why would I want to mess up such a? If I felt at all desperate, I probably would have done it and just be like, whatever, give me 15 energy. Let me get some majors. I'll try to play a major power game right off the bat and then see what happens. But yeah, that was it kind of turned really bad. Eric says, looking forward to the off-camera battle report. Nataza says the card elements and draw influence a lot. Prussia and Dana, interesting mix. Oh, Prussia and Dahan. Yeah. Prussia, I think when I did my strength for strength series, I'm pretty sure I did Thunderspeaker versus level 6 Prussia, and that was a pretty emphatic trouncing. It's funny, I'm having harder times with these two spirit games, and it could just be just there's a lot more to manage, like trying to live stream them and maybe like rushing things a little bit, not really thinking through them the next level. So say I feel like I'm getting worse at board games, not better. It's I'm like this. My brain's like, you have too many rules in your head. You just need to like stop. Get back to like your favorite like 10 games, dude, and whatever. But I like the variety too much, I guess. So this was cool. Thank you so much for a cool chat. I appreciate the comments. Love to hear what people would have done differently. Would love to hear more thoughts about Numinous Crisis just as an event for sure. But I will be back on Wednesday and looking forward to that. And then we'll be back in 2 weeks. And eventually I will win a game of Spirit Island on this channel. Maybe. It's gonna happen at least one more time, hopefully at some point in the future. But yeah, question, comments, epiphanies, put them in the comments section below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you want to see what else is coming up in Solo Playthroughs Land, again, I do have a public post I put out every month on my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Just look for June's public post, and you'll see a bunch of titles, review copies that were sent to me, stuff I'm trying to get on the channel, things I'm in the middle of learning, the games that are like super close to being featured at some point. Ashes Reborn should be on the channel soon. I just had reached out, a couple more publishers just reached out to me with some stuff that's in the work. So exciting times. It's just a matter of finding the time to learn it, get it on the channel, so I can play these things at a high level. And that is always the goal around here. Any rules mistakes, always appreciate people watching things closely enough to let me know, hey, you just check that out. The more I know my habits of things I might be doing wrong, the less likely I am to make the mistake in the future. So again, I really do appreciate things, as long as you don't be an absolute ass when you're telling me, which most people don't, but there's a few. Oh, there's been a few over the years, but most people are super awesome about that stuff. So it never bothers me when it comes from a good place. So I appreciate that. But that's about it. I'm yammering a little bit, as I am prone to do. So I'm going to sign off here. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, happy gaming.
Solid.